Hello YouTube, I'm David with the David West channel. Well, I was out here today in the woods and I just wanted to show you when you're gathering fatwood that you don't necessarily need a saw. Here's a piece that I just pulled up out of the ground. I traced down a fallen pine tree, and of course the fatwood is the last to deteriorate and go away. And I got a really good piece of fatwood here. Sorry about shaking the camera. But right here is two more. There's a fallen pine right there. And that upright right there, probably break it right off and be full of fatwood. Let's go see. Good strong smell. It's not dark, but it's full of fatwood. And following this pine tree here, and we have a root ball. Once again, we do not have to cut anything. This is probably full of fatwood right here. And it is. Now there's no smell to that. But dried up fatwood that doesn't have any smell anymore is still good. Let's take it over to the work table and try it out. That one appears to have the least amount of fatwood, but it'll still go well. At least that does have a strong smell of pine, whereas this one didn't. But you'll see this one will be reactive. And this is not dried up. It feels sticky to the touch. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. Let's get you up here. Now. Well, it's getting nice and rich in there in color right there now. All right, this is going to be our first try of our new sparrow rod. Now I don't want to ruin that 90-degree spine right there, so I'm going to use my pocket knife. very good fatwood. All right. So, even though this didn't appear very rich, you see there's plenty concentrated fatwood right here. And this is the one that I had to really bear down on with my leg and kick it and break it. Didn't have to use the saw. All right, let's try, so that was this one. Let's try this one here, which you didn't see me harvest. This was up next to the road, and the pine tree was so rotted away, I didn't think there'd be anything left. But then there was this sticking up, and I broke it off, so let's try this. Now, this one, you see it was underground, so the fatwood feels wet, so I'm curious to see how it's going to do. See, it went back out. Let's just see how this can deal with all that moisture in there. It's not going to burn with all that moisture in there. Let's try getting down into it. Like this right here I wouldn't think that that's still wet. Let's try to get some of it. Oh, it still feels wet, but we'll try it. Let's try it and see what we come up with. Yeah, those still feel wet. All right. So the damp shavings will take off and start to burn. We're good. burns well too. And what's left? Oh, this one here. This one here, you could tell it's got fatwood in it, but it's completely dried up. I had some in a closet one time for a year or two, and when I first put it in the closet, it was fine. After I got it back out, it was like this. You could not smell the pine, but it was still highly reactive. So let's see what we can do with this. This smoker's going to have to go off the table. Let me smell it. Oh, I smell just a little bit of pine. But believe me, don't ever be afraid of using dried up fatwood. It's still very reactive. And that's what we used. Believe me, you can tell by the way it burns, it's still very reactive. It's just one of those times when it took a long time to get it to flame up. Let's go ahead and do another one. This time we'll use smaller particles. We'll just use scrapings on this other one. And it took right off. Alright, y'all. I just wanted to show you there was fatwood right up under my nose, like 20 feet from my door. And I never noticed it. I mean, those trees were so rotted away, I couldn't even tell they were dead pines. But all three of them, you know, had great fatwood still in them. And I didn't have to use my saw. Could just break them off, so keep that in mind. I appreciate you joining me on this one. We'll catch you on the next one.